Well, hello everyone, welcome back. This is probably going to be a short one today. Hopefully I don't look nearly as bad as I feel. I just got home maybe 45 minutes ago from my trip, so I've been in the car all day and I'm tired. So I'm gonna try to talk fast. Yeah, we're right. And I don't really have a lot to go over, and we're back to tired ramblings again. So, yeah, we'll jump right in. I've got some whips. I've got a teeny tiny little bit of stash augmentation, and I have some plans. I have a scheduling note. By the way, welcome to my first Monday Flosstube, which I'm promptly going to tell you is not going to happen next week. Spoiler. So, yeah, that's about it. We'll go ahead and jump right in. First order of business, Maynia. I have finished my 15 starts in 15 days. I did it a little bit differently than I had originally planned to. I think because as I'm filming this, it's Sunday the 16th, so I would have had to take everything with me for the 14th and the 15th on my trip. I just didn't feel like working that hard to pull all the flosses because I store, one of these days I'll show you how I store my floss, but I store all my floss in one big master set and I pull things out as I need them. So I didn't feel like pulling all the different flosses I could possibly need for 2 or 3 different projects. Also, I knew at least one of them was going to end up being on linen. I'm not good with linen at the best of times, and the lighting at my dad's house is not, in the rooms that I like to stitch in, is not always the best, so I had some concern that I would be able to see to stitch very well. So it just ended up being easier. I mean, 15 starts in 15 days does not necessarily mean a start every day. So on Thursday, I did all of the last 3. And so technically I finished on the 14th, 13th, whatever that day was. Tired, long weekend. Fun weekend, long weekend. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the last 5 items that I did. The first one is easy to remember which one is first because this is the one that I was talking about on my last video. It was the Ink Circles Fairy Ring Around the Rosy. And I was recording last week. I had not actually done this for the day yet because I needed to get the video up, recorded, and editing actually took a long time. So I think I ended up getting 6 stitches in on that day, but I still started it that day, right? Cool. And like I said, doesn't mean to start a day. It means 15 starts in the first 15 days. So I got it. But yeah, this is an adventure. It's my first time using silks. This is on 16 count Pearl Ada from Mystic Fabrics. It's also got the needle minder that goes with it. This is the motif that's on the Fairy Ring Around the Rosy. And then the silk is Mystic Fairy by Trinway Silks. And here is as far as I've gotten. So you can see we got the variegation showing up in there of the color. This is actually an upside down fairy. So here are her wings. This is her dress. And then her little feetsies sticking up because this is the bottom of the pattern. So silks. So far, not too bad. It feels a lot like working with cotton embroidery floss. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but in my infinite exhaustion, which seems to be the name of the game lately, I had already made a mistake. I've already had to frog with silk, and it doesn't seem to have been too horrible. I reserve the right to change my opinion when I have more than 100 stitches in. But there's that one. Then the next day, I got another Tiny Modernist. This was Words to Live By Part 5. It's, if you can dream it, you can do it. I'm sorry, I actually really do like this saying, but if anyone's ever seen the movie Blades of Glory, one of those ridiculous Will Ferrell movies, one of the characters, his voicemail starts out with, "Hi, this is Jimmy. If you can dream it, you can do it." And so I always think of that whenever I see this one, and I will forever think of that every time I see this quilt, I'm sure. So, also orange isn't really my jam, so I'm not too thrilled with what I've gotten started so far, but here it is. Again, this was kind of a rush night. I was doing Fairy Ring Around the Rosie and this one both on the same night. So I got the 100 stitches exactly. And then went ahead and called it a day and moved on to the other things I had to work on. And then on the last day, I got all 3 of the remaining ones. And if you look really closely at my Instagram at the wheel, there's actually was another project on there, and I decided at the last minute to scrap that because it would have been the 16th project. It is a gift, so it's got to go kind of high on the priority list, but I just didn't want to mess with it right now. Because it is the smallest gift, I bet you I'll be able to stitch it up in less than 5 hours. And so I'm going to save it for a time that I need a quick and easy win. I've got until December, yada yada. I didn't need to add extra stress to myself during Maynia, during sleep-deprived attempting to come back to work, which is going okay. I'm not going to say great. I don't love it, but I'm not the complete zombie I was on week 1. So yeah, we're working on it. So this was Words to Live By Part 13, and they didn't really do the, instead of just showing that single square, they show the entire thing. So you can see that's what the entire thing would have looked like when it was done. Again, I'm going to do something a little bit different because I'm going to do the quilt and make these different squares. But the one that is this square is this one here. And so it's act as if what you do, and you can barely read that. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. I love this one. Can't wait to work on it. A little bonus was this fit a magical stitches prompt this week. Work on something that has 8 parts. So this had 13 parts. So I did, instead of 100 stitches on this one, I did 300 stitches on this one. And here's where I got to. So aside from the very first one that I have been working on off and on, this is the one that I've gotten the furthest on. Yeah, that's the one I've gotten the furthest on. Nothing really exciting to say about that. But now I have all 13 pieces started. Well, all 12 remaining pieces started. And I will be able to, like I said, knock them off in between other things as kind of quick and easy wins to kind of motivate me when I'm looking at all of my massively huge projects and going, am I ever going to finish anything? Because I feel that way a lot. And then the last 2 are not Tiny Modernists. These are by Hands On Design, and they are the Flamingo Christmas Ornaments. Again, with me and the flamingos, but you've seen these before. I've had them for a long time. It's not like these should be a surprise. So we have, stupid ring light, Fa La La Mingo, and Flamingo Bells. Both of these are done on 32 count Graceful Gray Linen by Vichelt. And let's see if I can remember which one's which. This one is Fa La La Mingo. And I know that because that green is the start of the scarves. And then, so this one is Flamingo Bells. And that one you've got a little bit more of the pink, so you can start to see the variegation. That is all Weeks Dye Works Sockeye. This one has some good variegation in it. I really like it. What I don't like about these is working on the linen, because you'll see there's a lot of, like, especially with this one, there's a lot of like little one-off that I'm gonna have to, like all these little dots in here, that I'm gonna have to count out to. I'm not great at counting on linen. I'm struggling with it. I probably need to actually get some counting pins and see if those would help me, because the way I'm doing it is not great right now. And it's probably just the learning curve with linen. Not a lot of my projects yet are on linen or even weaves. Linen though, especially because of the uneven width of the fibers. I think even weave, since it's more even, go figure, that'll probably be a little bit easier for me. But none of the projects that I've pulled are on even weave. So I don't know, more thoughts. Maybe I'll get around to getting some counting pins. Does anyone use counting pins? Are they helpful? Do you like them? Are they worth it? Should I try them? I don't know. Let me know. And then, so the rest of the time I have been I've been continuing with Deal Struck. And I've been continuing my 100 stitches a day, which is why I'm kind of, one of the reasons I'm trying to rush this, because I haven't stitched any today yet and I want to try to get that in. But funny story about these next two. These next two are Deal Struck and Defying Gravity. I'll show you the picture of Defying Gravity in a second. No, I will show it to you right now. So, the one thing you will notice about these two projects, and I've mentioned it before, they're black. They're greater than 50% black. Well, Defying Gravity is. Deal Struck is close to 50% black. I packed my faithful little kit with my scissors and a couple different colors of floss that were called for each of them. My glasses, my patterns, my Kindle with Pattern Keeper on it for Deal Struck. And halfway up to my dad's house, I realized I did not snip any 310 off the cone. So that was really going to limit what I was going to be able to do this weekend. More on that in a minute, but especially for Deal Struck, I ended up not doing any black. And here's where Deal Struck was the last time that I saw you. And here is where it is now. So I didn't get any black done this weekend, but I did get some black done down here before I left. So this row is finally done, yay! And I started extending down this one. A little sad, I would have liked to have been another 200 stitches further. I would have liked to have been here. But that's fine, this is just delayed a little while. But what I did get to work on then, since I wasn't working on that, was I got to do some more colors on the hand. So I filled in some more of this flesh tone over here. And actually, yeah, that's really all I did, was I worked in 437, which is this lighter tan here on the edge, and extended some of that down. I have a little bit of an issue with Deal Struck right now. Right about in here, I know that where the black ends, it's still correct. And I know right about here, it starts being correct again. But right about in here, a lot of this dark brown is off. So I think what my current plan is I'm going to continue my alter black page 1, alternate onto page 2, keep doing that, and I'm just going to ignore this little section right here until I get into the black on page 2, so that I can kind of figure out exactly what's wrong there and how I want to fix it, rather than maybe like trying to frog in the middle of stitches, because you can see these extend all the way down here. So you'll probably see a hole, like, and it will become more obvious as I continue working on the hand. Kind of a little hole develop, like right about here. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I don't feel like thinking very hard right now when I can do a lot of mindless stitching down the side here. So here's where Deal Struck is. I did get in a little bit more than the 700 stitches that I needed to do this week, because I used this as a magical stitches prompt. What was the prompt? Oh, the prompt was something that you would find in a prison. And so I talked about the arc in the anime where these two characters get arrested and are imprisoned in the Tower of London. And so I said, well, you would find prisoners in a prison. So it's a stretch, but I made it work. And then the last one, I've already shown you the cover photo for Defying Gravity. So I worked on Defying Gravity. Surprise, surprise. It's been a few weeks since I pulled this one out because I got so excited about Sebastian. So a couple weeks ago, here's where I was with this one. And here's where I am now. I did end up getting some black, as you can see. I got that filled in, and then I've been working on some of the letters. I got about 300 stitches done on this one. It was also a magical stitches prompt. The prompt was something you'd use to muck out the stables. And I said, well, I would use magic, because that's about the only way you're going to get me to muck out the stables. I grew up on a farm. I've done enough shoveling poop. Thank you very much. Actually, I didn't have to do that much. I was lucky that way. But yeah, no more shoveling poop for me. So magic. So I used that as my excuse to get 300 stitches in on Defying Gravity. This one is probably going to be one, well, it's not probably. I'm back to rotating 3 priority gift projects, and this is one of them. The other 2 being Cinderella and We Do Disney, but I didn't work on either of those this week, so I didn't bring them in here to show you. All right, so that was pretty much it. As I mentioned, I got home, or bleh. Let's try that again. I got up to my dad's house and realized that I had no black. And in terms of needlework supplies, my dad's in the middle of nowhere. So I did manage to talk him into taking me a few towns over to the nearest place that I could get embroidery floss. And if we're gonna drive all the way over there, like 30 minutes, I'm not going to just get one skein of 310. No. So I had to get a little bit of something. What I went to wasn't really an LNS. It is a craft supply store, so they don't have a great, and so since I don't want it to be taken as criticizing this place, I'm not going to mention the store name or where it is, because it is an amazing store, but it's not an LNS, it's not an embroidery store, and their selection of cross stitch and embroidery supplies and stuff is limited basically to floss and hoops and a few kits. So I got my 310, And then I looked through what was left so that I felt like I had actually gotten something. And so I went ahead and I got a Snag Nabbit because I've been wanting one of these because I have a really bad habit of cutting my tails just the right size that they get pulled through the adjoining color. So I'm hoping that this will help me with that. And I mean, it's just a couple bucks, so. And then the other thing I got was I got my first Mill Hill kit. This is a Painted Pumpkins Charmed Ornament. It's Bewitching Pumpkin. I'm going to take that out because glare, still glare, but not as bad. So I thought this one was just adorable. The only thing I don't get is the charm. I don't see why there is a star at the bottom of the tree. That just seems like a weird place for it to me. But I didn't design the kit, and maybe I'll put it on there and maybe I won't. We'll see. But it is my first Mill Hill kit. I had to jump on the bandwagon. Plans for this week. I still have to try to get in 100 stitches on Deal Struck tonight. I'm not sure I'm going to make that because, like I said, I'm pretty tired. But I did put in extra stitches last week, so even if I don't, it's fine. I haven't seen the Magical Stitches prompts yet. Usually they're out. They're probably out, and I just haven't seen them yet because, like I said, I've been in the car all day. So we'll see what those bring. But if I'm given my choice, I'm going to work on Defying Gravity. I'm going to try to alternate Defying Gravity, Cinderella, and We Do Disney, and try to work on one of them each day and try to get in 100 stitches each day in addition to Deal Struck. That said, tomorrow I really doubt I'm going to get anything in because I have a dance lesson right after work. I'm going to have to come home at lunch to let Lexi out so that poor dear is not cooped up all day for a super long day. Speaking of, Lexi, where are you? We'll see if she comes in. Lexi! I don't know. She's pretty tired too. Lexi has a very love-hate relationship with my dad in that she loves him, but she's terrified of him. And I don't know if I've told this before. But yeah, she likes him to be there, and she will wait for him if he's not home. She will perch herself on the sofa that you can see the door from, and she will wait for him. But she doesn't want him to touch her. And my dad's like, well, she just knows I'm supposed to be here, so she's just waiting for me to get home. She's not really happy to see me. But when my brother's 2 dogs were staying at my dad's house and Lexi and I were, first of all, it was nuts. Because we had 2 toddlers and then the 2 dogs, or 3 dogs. One of them since passed away, but there were 3 dogs. And Lexi had none of those other 2 dogs getting anywhere near my dad. So she popped up on the sofa next to my dad and would not move. And she's just sitting there. She wouldn't touch my dad. She wouldn't go near him, but she sat on that sofa and she just glared those other 2 dogs down like mine. So, I don't know. So, looks like you're not going to get to see Lexi today, but at least you got a Lexi story, right? What the heck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I'm going to have to come home on my lunch hour tomorrow, which means I get to eat in the car because that's going to be fun. To let her out so that I can get to my dance class on time, and when I get home I'll probably just have enough time to get in my 100 on Deal Struck before I turn into a pumpkin. But then the rest of the week I should be able to alternate. Next week, no video next week, or if I do send a video out, it will be later in the week. I moved to Monday and then I promptly don't have time to shoot on Sunday night. Because next weekend is my show. So I have dress rehearsal on Saturday. I expect that to take a large chunk of the day. Actually, it shouldn't be too bad for me, because I think both of my numbers are in the first act. Oh, doesn't matter. You don't care. But dress rehearsal is Saturday. Show is Sunday night. I don't expect to get home until late. So I don't expect to have time to film. So, no video next week. Or if there is a video, it will probably be on my normal Wednesday, or my old normal Wednesday, rather than the new normal Monday. Life update, that's about it. I had a good time at my dad's house this weekend. We went foraging, so I have fresh asparagus in my refrigerator that I will cook not tomorrow night, because late, but later this week. And I don't know, we just kind of hung out. We went up to the craft store the next town over, and it was pretty quiet. So aside from the driving, which of course was kind of a nightmare, between construction and I almost got in an accident, not my fault, but it sufficiently freaked me out that I just feel like I need to collapse right now. So reading, watching, listening to. I started and finished, I finished The Battle of the Labyrinth about an hour into my drive up on Friday. So I started and finished The Killer Across the Table by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker, which is, a true crime book about criminal profiling and conducting the interviews that criminal profilers do with convicted, mostly serial killers, but they do some work with people convicted of other crimes as well. So it was an interesting read. I don't think that audio is the way to go on that one. I think I'd have enjoyed it more if I actually had read it, because it's not the kind of thing that you can just get drawn into. It's very factual, but I just don't think it's an audio-friendly book. And so now I've started The Hunting Party, which was recommended to me by Shelby, at Stitches by Shelby, and so far so good. I'm only about 2 hours into it, but I really like it. It's set in the Scottish Highlands. It's a very different area, so it's kind of interesting to hear all of that stuff. But I'm very eloquent today, right? It's interesting to hear all that stuff. Seriously, I've got nothing for you folks this week. So I'm gonna go do my stitching. I'm gonna brew a pot of tea, chamomile, not caffeinated, and I'm gonna try one more time to get her in here. Lexi, come here. Come here. Sorry, no such luck. Yeah, I'm gonna brew a pot of tea. I'm gonna finish my stitching. I'm going to take a relaxing bath, and then it's going to be early sleep for me tonight. So I hope you all have a great week. For those of you that are in the throes of Maynia, good luck with your projects. Stitch fast. And I hope you all stay safe, stay healthy. See you next time. Bye.